The ones on Capitol Hill, they're often boring. You see them on C-SPAN. But one plan for next month is already sparking protest. The subject, radical Islam. Congressman Peter King, a Republican of Long Island, he chairs the Homeland Security Committee. He's planning hearings on the radicalization of some Muslim Americans. Now, protesters for and against King's plans came out to his district office yesterday, about 100 people. It got loud at times. There's concern that the hearings will unfairly single out Muslims. Haven't we seen terrorists from other religions, they say? Jared Loughner, the alleged Tucson gunman, Timothy McVeigh, the Oklahoma City bomber. They want the hearings broadened to include radicalization from any group. Joining us now on the phone is the Congressman Peter King. Welcome back to Good Day New York, sir.
Great, good to be with you. How are you?
Terrific. What do you hope to accomplish with these hearings?
One, to establish and to show to the American people that there is a real threat of al-Qaeda recruiting and also homegrown terrorists being self-radicalized within the Muslim community. Now, let me say, the overwhelming majority of Muslims are outstanding Americans, but Eric Holder has said that he stays awake at night. He can't sleep because of the growing number of young Muslim men who are willing to take up arms against their country. Janet Napolitano said just last week when she testified the threat level is higher than any time since 9/11 because of the homegrown terrorist threat. And that threat comes from within the Muslim community. And I would be absolutely remiss in my responsibility as Homeland Security Committee Chairman if I didn't investigate that.
What would be the problem with expanding the probe, with expanding the subject matter? We did have Jared Loughner, the alleged gunman in Tucson. He was motivated by, we're really not sure what, but it does not appear that he was motivated by radical Islam. Why not take a look at other sources of radicalization?
Because I would suggest there's some equivalency of threat here. The fact is the overwhelming threat to the United States comes from al-Qaeda and its affiliates. Any Muslims who are radicalized in this country are affiliated with a foreign enemy. We've always had radicals here or there. We've had neo-Nazis. We've had environmentalists. We've had people involved in both sides of the abortion movement. The fact is the Department of Homeland Security was created because of the attacks of 9/11. The Committee on Homeland Security was created because of the attacks of 9/11. And the bottom line is that when we look at the risk, the overwhelmingly large risk comes from al-Qaeda. If, for instance, the neo-Nazis become a significant threat in the future, we would investigate them. But to be spending all our time just diffusing the hearing by somehow saying that environmentalists are as much a threat as al-Qaeda is absolute insanity.
There was a pretty big scene outside your office yesterday, and I think one of the reasons why some people came out is because of your past comments. You know, you have caused controversy before. We're not ambushing you here. You know this. Back in 2007, you were quoted by Politico as saying there were too many mosques in America. You also hastened to add that there are too many radical Islamists in America, and maybe one is too many. But you did say that at one point. There are too many mosques in America.
What I said was there are too many mosques in America which don't cooperate with law enforcement, and I stand by that. That to me is one of the things we will bring out at the hearing. And anyone, if you look at the entire interview, I said there's too many mosques in America, too many mosques which don't cooperate with law enforcement. I have visited mosques over the years. I have never said a word about the Muslim religion. I've always said it's a great religion. I've never gotten into the Quran. I've never gotten into Sharia law or any of that. I'm talking about people in the community. So no, I've never said there are too many mosques in America. I said there's too many mosques that don't cooperate with law enforcement, and that I stand by.
Okay, there was one. There seemed to be. It depends how you listen to the comment. You know that there was a period after the too many mosques in America, but you did add right away that there are too many radical Muslim sympathizers. I don't think anybody really had a huge problem with that part of your statement.
No, actually,
go ahead.
Gregory, I said there are too many mosques in America, comma, there are too many mosques which don't cooperate. I use this exact same term, too many mosques at the beginning and at the end.
Right, I think that it's the punctuation. I hate to split hairs. Right. Listen, are you worried a little bit that the spectacle, we already have one, the protest, could mar your hearings next month? I mean, it's one thing if they're sober and deliberative and, serious, but if you have people interrupting that kind of thing, it looks like you may have a spectacle on your hands.
Well, if any spectacle comes, it's not going to come from me. We've spent months preparing for these hearings. I've had investigators talking to literally dozens of prospective witnesses. From my end, this hearing is going to be conducted in a dignified, orderly way, but I can't allow people to be carrying on to disrupt the hearing or to bring it down. For instance, yesterday, I had nothing to do with the demonstrations. I had a group coming out to demonstrate against me. Others came to demonstrating for me. I'm not involved in that. To me, this issue is too important for demonstrations. I know there's going to be a large demonstration in Times Square next week against me. Fact is, all I can do is control the hearing, and I'm telling you that as far as the witnesses are concerned, it'll be done in an orderly way. Anyone who disrupts the hearing is going to be ejected. But I can't allow a mob rule to bring down the hearing. The fact that somebody may threaten to disrupt the hearing, that can't prevent me from holding the hearing.
Congressman Peter King, Republican from Long Island, thanks for being back on Good Day New York.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, see you later.
A prayerful protest on Long Island today against hearings about homegrown terrorism. But there was opposition. New York Congressman Peter King wants to investigate why Muslims are becoming more radical here in the U.S.
But as CBS 2's Deter shows us, some Muslims say those controversial hearings will give them a bad name.
A pray-in outside Congressman Peter King's office on Long Island. Muslims, Jews, and Christians gathered to tell him stop targeting Muslims and cancel hearings on what King calls the radicalization of Muslim Americans.
A bomb doesn't differentiate between a Muslim and a non-Muslim. We are just as afraid of extremists.
Muslims fear the hearings will demonize peaceful members of their faith.
If you want to talk about terrorism or extremism, it should be about everyone.
I'm not going to back down. Political correctness has gone too far.
King says he's obligated to investigate and adds the overwhelming majority of Muslim Americans are outstanding Americans.
The fact is there is an element within that community, as there is in all communities, which is threatening the United States. The difference with this is they were allied with an overseas enemy, Al-Qaeda.
King points to homegrown terrorists. Faisal Shahzad, the man behind the failed Times Square bombing in May 2010, believed to have been financed by the Pakistani Taliban. In November 2009 at Fort Hood, Texas, American-born Muslim Nidal Malik Hassan allegedly killed 13 people. Today, a counter-protest to support King's hearings.
This war on terror is not some campaign overseas. It goes on today, right here.
Congressman King is taking action on this. For people to call him Islamophobe or a bigot is ridiculous.
Still, those against the hearings vowed to continue praying for a change of heart. In Massapequa, Long Island, Deter, CBS 2 News.
Congressman King is chairman of the Homeland Security Committee. The hearings are scheduled for March 10th in Washington, D.C.